Welcome, horror fans, to a journey into the shadows. Tonight, we dive deep into the dark, twisted, and spine-chilling world of horror cinema. These are the stories that kept us awake at night, made us peek under the bed, and left us questioning what lies beyond the veil of our reality. From cursed videotapes to relentless entities that defy explanation, these films have earned their place as the most terrifying of all time. Comment below if the initial gameplay is bad. I realize that many people only watch 30 seconds of my videos, so it is important that you comment below what you think. Now, hold on tight, because this isn't just a list, it's a descent into fear itself. And remember, the scariest one? That's waiting for you at the very end. Let's begin. Number 5, The Exorcist, 1973. We begin with a film that has not only defined the horror genre, but also carved its place in cinematic history, The Exorcist. Directed by William Friedkin, this 1973 classic is not just a movie, it's a phenomenon that shocked the world. Even decades later, The Exorcist remains one of the most chilling, unsettling, and influential films ever made. The story is based on the novel by William Peter Blatty, which itself was inspired by actual events. It follows the harrowing tale of Regan MacNeil, a sweet and innocent young girl who begins exhibiting terrifying and inexplicable behavior. Her transformation is gradual yet horrifying, progressing from strange noises and sudden mood swings to full-blown possession by a demonic entity. The turning point? When Regan's mother, Chris, a successful actress, discovers her daughter speaking in guttural voices and levitating off the bed. What makes The Exorcist so unsettling is its layered approach to horror. The film isn't just about Regan's possession, it's about faith, the fragility of human belief, and the confrontation with ultimate evil. Father Karras, a priest struggling with his own crisis of faith, becomes the emotional anchor of the story. His internal battles mirror the external horrors unfolding in Regan's room, creating a narrative that's as psychological as it is supernatural. The technical aspects of the film only amplify its terror. From the bone-chilling sound of Regan's voice, created by a blend of her own acting and sound design, to the infamous subliminal imagery of demonic faces, The Exorcist is a master class in atmosphere. Linda Blair's haunting performance as Regan is unforgettable, and the practical effects, like her spinning head and projectile vomit, remain iconic. When the film premiered in 1973, audiences reportedly fainted, vomited, and even fled the theater. Churches labeled it blasphemous, and theaters warned patrons to prepare themselves for what they were about to see. Even today, it's hard to watch The Exorcist without feeling a creeping sense of unease. It's more than just a horror film, it's an endurance test for your nerves. Number 4, Hereditary. Next, we delve into the sinister world of Ari Aster's Hereditary, a modern horror masterpiece that doesn't just scare, it crawls under your skin and stays there. Released in 2018, Hereditary is often described as one of the most disturbing films of the 21st century, and for good reason. The film opens with a devastating family tragedy, the death of Ellen, the matriarch of the Graham family. But as her daughter Annie, played by the phenomenal Toni Collette, delivers a cold and detached eulogy, it's clear that Ellen's death is only the beginning of something far darker. Strange events begin to plague the family, and buried secrets about their ancestry emerge, revealing a horrifying generational curse. What makes Hereditary so terrifying is its unrelenting sense of dread. Every frame is steeped in tension, from the lingering camera angles to the unsettling sound design. The film doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. Instead, it builds a suffocating atmosphere that makes you feel as if you're being watched. And then, there's that scene. You know the one. A shocking accident involving Annie's daughter Charlie leaves audiences stunned, setting the stage for the film's descent into chaos. Toni Collette's performance as Annie is nothing short of extraordinary. Her portrayal of grief, guilt, and eventual madness is so raw and visceral that it feels almost voyeuristic to watch. By the time the third act arrives, with its horrifying revelations and disturbing imagery, you're left feeling like you've witnessed something you shouldn't have. Hereditary is not just a film, it's an experience. It forces you to confront the darkness of familial bonds and the terrifying idea that some fates are inescapable. Number 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Coming in at number 3 is a film that redefined the boundaries of fear, Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Released in 1984, this cult classic introduced audiences to one of horror's most iconic villains, Freddy Krueger. The concept of A Nightmare on Elm Street is as brilliant as it is terrifying. Freddy Krueger isn't just a serial killer. He's a supernatural entity who haunts teenagers in their dreams. The catch? If Freddy kills you in your dream, you die in real life. It's a premise that turns the safety of sleep, a place we all must go, into a battleground. The film follows a group of teens who are terrorized by Freddy, led by the resourceful Nancy Thompson. As they uncover Freddy's horrifying backstory, they realize that their parents are hiding a dark secret connected to his vengeful return. What makes Freddy so unforgettable is his twisted personality. Unlike the silent killers of the era, Freddy revels in his torment, delivering darkly humorous quips as he toys with his victims. Combine that with his grotesque appearance, burned skin, a striped sweater, and a glove fitted with razor-sharp blades, and you have a villain who's both terrifying and charismatic. Wes Craven's inventive direction elevates the film, using surreal dream sequences to blur the line between reality and nightmare. Scenes like the geyser of blood or Freddy's elongated arms have become iconic. And let's not forget the chilling nursery rhyme that haunts the soundtrack. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. A Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't just scare, it lingers. It makes you question whether you're truly safe, even in the sanctuary of sleep. Number 2. The Shining, 1980. At number 2, we have a film that turns isolation into terror, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Based on Stephen King's novel, this 1980 masterpiece is a haunting exploration of madness, family, and the supernatural. The story centers on Jack Torrance, a struggling writer who takes a job as the winter caretaker of the isolated Overlook Hotel. With his wife Wendy and young son Danny in tow, Jack hopes to find inspiration and solitude. But the Overlook has other plans. As snow traps them inside, the hotel's dark history begins to unravel Jack's sanity, turning him into a danger to his own family. Kubrick's direction is meticulous, using long, tracking shots and unsettling symmetry to create an atmosphere of unease. Jack Nicholson's performance as Jack Torrance is legendary, capturing his descent from a frustrated writer to a maniacal force of nature. Shelley Duvall's portrayal of Wendy adds a layer of vulnerability and terror, while Danny Lloyd's depiction of Danny and his psychic abilities, known as The Shining, ties the supernatural and psychological elements together. From the haunting imagery of the twin girls to the cryptic phrase, "Red Rum," The Shining leaves an indelible mark on anyone who watches it. And who could forget the infamous, "Here's Johnny" scene? It's a film that doesn't just scare, it seeps into your subconscious. Number 1. The Ring, 2002. Finally, we arrive at the scariest film on our list, The Ring. Directed by Gore Verbinski, this 2002 remake of the Japanese classic Ringu introduced Western audiences to a terror unlike any other, a cursed videotape. The story follows journalist Rachel Keller, played by Naomi Watts, as she investigates a series of mysterious deaths linked to the tape. The premise is simple. If you watch the tape, you have 7 days before you die. But what makes The Ring so terrifying is its execution. The film doesn't rely on gore or jump scares. Instead, it builds a creeping sense of dread that stays with you long after the credits roll. Samara, the vengeful spirit at the heart of the tape, is unforgettable. Her haunting imagery, crawling out of a television, her long, wet hair obscuring her face, has become iconic. The grainy, surreal images on the tape itself add to the film's unnerving atmosphere. What sets The Ring apart is its psychological impact. It makes you feel cursed just by watching it, turning the screen into a portal for terror. By the end, you're left questioning whether you've truly escaped its grasp. So there you have it. 5 films that pushed the boundaries of fear and left an indelible mark on the world of horror. But remember, these are just stories. Or are they? Sweet dreams, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below on which horror movie gave you the most sleepless nights. Until next time.